Have you ever wondered, why have I had to go through what I've gone through? Is there actually a purpose to my pain and my experiences? I know I've learned a bunch of stuff, but sometimes life gets hard. And I know for me, there were a lot of things that I walked through that at the time I couldn't see what the point was or what they were going to help me achieve in my life. But I promise you, there is purpose for the pain and there is a purpose for the experiences that you have walked through. Welcome to step 3 of the Called and Confident framework, because I know that you know you're called, but now we're going to build your confidence. I'm Samantha Brown, professional organizer, decluttering specialist, and business coach. I created Pro Organizers Coach podcast to empower you to reach new heights in your business. I am on a mission to build a supportive sisterhood of passionate professional organizers. So whether you're a seasoned pro or you're just getting started, this podcast is for you. So this framework is designed to help you create a mission-driven business that is rooted in authenticity and faith. Each letter in the Called framework represents a critical step toward discovering and embracing your calling to create a business that is authentic and meaningful and is aligned with your unique purpose, which leads to the correct messaging to the right ideal clients. And it helps with relationships that are grounded and impactful, which is how your marketing runs itself. And that is marketing, is when you connect with people authentically. This framework, we have already gone through C and A. Today we are on the first L. So C was clarify your vision. A was align your passions. And then today we're going to learn from our past. So, what is the goal? The goal today is to reflect on your past experience, and we want to see how these moments provide clues to your calling, because it took me a very long time to clarify my own calling. And I don't want you to have to go through all of the stuff and all of the time that it took me to create my own calling and my own mission-driven business. But because I took that time, now I can help you create it quickly and efficiently so you can create a business that is on mission, that is going to help the clients that you are meant to serve. So let's figure out what the stuff we went through in the past, what the point of it was, and how it can help us achieve our goals in our future. So today we've got 4 steps. We're going to identify the challenges that you've had to overcome. We're going to recognize the patterns. We're going to list some life lessons you've learned along the way, which I'm sure there's more than you actually realize. And then we're going to find moments of impact that blessed others. The reason it's so important to look at each and every one of these is because a lot of times we're so busy trying to create the next thing, or, oh, what's the strategy? Or I need to create a website. I need to do all these things. Whether you're just getting started and thinking, oh, well, I need a to-do list, which I have as a freebie for you at proorganizerscoach.com if you want to go there, or a link in the show notes for my freebie if you're looking for a good to-do list. But the point of what I'm saying, or even if you've already been an organizer for a while, when you're not on mission and you've created a business that is just based on what you think it should be, or what you've seen someone else do, or on just pure strategy, then it doesn't come off as authentic. And when you're talking to people, they feel that energy. So we need to shift your mindset. We need to help you become a mission-driven business, and that you are called to do this work. So then when you are doing marketing or doing anything on social media, or even having a conversation with someone in person, they are going to feel that energy. You are going to know what to say and how to say it. And then they are going to want to hire you. And if they don't want to hire you, they're going to want to tell all of their friends about you, because they can feel the energy. Wow, this woman is on a mission. All right, so let's jump into it and look at this stuff. It really is so important. So, step 1, identifying the challenges that you have had to overcome. I want you to take a minute and reflect on some obstacles or difficulties that you have had to face and conquer. I know you've had some. We all have. That's just life. And I want to help you see that the stuff that you've gone through in the past has a reason. God did not allow you to go through that without using it for your good. The hardships that you have overcome, they've helped shape you into who you are today. So, for example, for me, I had to learn to manage a home while raising kids because I had my daughter at 19 and then I had my son at 22. And so I was still very young with two young children in the home. And I was a hot mess, like hot mess. And so I had to start learning things. And at the time, what felt like a hardship, which was getting married at an early age because I felt like my family wanted me to, because where I live, it's what you should do. Like you graduate high school and then you go to college. And I was going to college at the same time that I was actually getting married and then having my first daughter. And so a lot of that at the time, I mean, I used to sit in my car and just cry because I didn't understand what the point of it was. And the struggle was so hard and I felt so alone. Now I know, and now I can look back and see. Another thing was once my kids became like preteens and I was so overwhelmed. I was working third shift and my house was a hot mess. I hadn't decluttered anything ever in my life, I don't think. I had so many things going on in my life that I was in survival mode. And so I was barely getting by day to day and much less creating goals and learning how to create a better life for my family. And so when I learned to declutter and I went from overwhelmed to organized and starting to create systems, that was game changing for me. But it definitely was a hardship that I had to overcome and conquer. And then another example was for over a decade, I worked with autistic children. And there were so many things I learned through that experience. I know God was building my character, but one of the main things looking back and after reflecting and praying about it, it helped me to see that every single person, no matter who they are, deserves to feel seen and heard and to be given respect. That is a huge lesson that when I learned it, it has shaped how I treat and interact with every single person, even if it's an elderly lady at the grocery store in the parking lot that just put her groceries in her car. And I go over and I'm like, here, let me take your buggy for you. It's the little things in life that I don't do it for the recognition. I do it because when I was working with the autistic kids and when I was going through the hardships in my life, the character that was built from that is just who I am now. And so I would like you to pause me and take a few moments and write down some stuff and some things that you've been through. Just look at them like, what were those hardships and what was it that you went through? And then here in a minute, we're going to look at our life lessons that we've learned from those things. Hey, friend, are you getting stuck in the challenges of launching or growing your business? Do you feel overwhelmed by all of the things that you think you quote unquote should be doing? Girl, I have been exactly where you are, which is why I am now offering Unstuck coaching sessions. For just $77, you get 60 minutes of one-on-one personalized support and the expert guidance that you need to navigate your way to success. Don't let obstacles hold you back any longer. This coaching is the answer you've been searching for. Are you ready to know exactly what your next steps are? Book your session today and rediscover the hope and clarity that you need to thrive. Go to proorganizerscoach.com or click the link in the show notes, and I will see you there. So step number 2, we want to recognize patterns. We need to look for some reoccurring themes in your life. Have you always found yourself organizing or encouraging others or simplifying systems Or have you always found yourself teaching? Or like, what are the patterns in your life? Like for me, I have always been a caregiver. It's just who I am. There's always somebody in my life that I am the one caring for them. It's just how it's been. So look at your life for just a moment and see, are there certain patterns that have come up that have reoccurred as themes in your life as to just who you are? Like for me, I was always the one that friends and family would call for help. Didn't matter what the help was. They would call me because they knew I'd come through and I'd figure out a way to help them. People would always ask me for help with cleaning, packing, running errands, anything home and life related. I was the one they reached out to. And then, like I said a minute ago, I've always been a caregiver of some sort to a lot of different people in my life. So recognize some patterns and write a few of those down and just start thinking about what you've been through. And let's shift your mindset on, yeah, it was a hardship, but it was also a lesson learned, which leads me to my third step. Let's list the lessons that we've learned. What are some life lessons that you have learned that have been significant in your life? So write down 3 to 5 significant lessons that you've learned through the experiences that you have had in life. So, for instance, for me, I learned that my environment is crucial and that it needs to be in order. I think more clearly. I feel more at peace. When I did that decluttering when my kids were preteens, it was life changing. But the other part of it was the weight that came off my shoulders and going through my daily life doing other stuff. All of a sudden, I realized, wow, the shape that my home is in really does affect me, not just at home, but also throughout my daily life. I'm constantly thinking about the stuff that needs to be done at home if I don't have a system set up to help me know that, okay, well, Fridays are the day I do that. Or if it just feels chaotic, then I'm carrying that chaos and that stress with me all day, every day, especially as a woman. I have also learned through everything that small, consistent steps create lasting change, that nothing that we have gone through has happened overnight. And so the change isn't going to be overnight either. It's going to take some time, but as long as we take those small, consistent steps and we keep putting one foot in front of the other, we will create lasting change and we will get to our goals. And then the other thing that I love that I've learned is that I love coaching, holding space for others while asking powerful questions because it helps my clients, whether it's my organizing clients, whether it's my coaching clients for business that are starting or growing their organizing business, whether it's friends and family. When I learned coaching techniques, which is one of the things in the Strengthen Your Business course and mastermind I have right now, I loved creating that module because it got me thinking about the fact that I even use these coaching techniques with my husband and with my kids, and it just helps in life. There is a reason that coaching has become such a game changer in the online space and in people's lives. It's because it works. It holds space for you. It helps you look at your stuff and then shift your mindsets around those things and move them on through. Like some of the stuff that we have been holding on to for years or the stories we've been telling ourselves, just like our clients, the second that we help give them a different perspective or a different thought to think about that thing, all of a sudden they're like, oh, that's a good point. And then the story can change and it can move on through, and they can be thankful for something that they've walked through, kind of like with you today. If there's some stuff that you're like, man, I have walked through some hard things. I don't know how I could look at them positively or anything I've even learned from them. And if that is you, or if there are a few things that maybe you're a little resentful for, or you are upset about the fact that you've had to walk through those things, because believe me, I have been there many times. I want to talk about us finding moments of impact when you have been a blessing to someone else. Because what I've realized is a lot of the times when I was walking through the hardest part of my life and the circumstances that were the hardest for me to walk through, one, those were the times that God showed up powerfully. Like he was there for me. There was no denying it. But I also had to reach out to him and ask him for the help and the comfort. But he is our comforter and he does comfort us through things. And so, one, that would help me above all else. But the other thing that helped me was when I look back at some of this stuff, or even sometimes when I'm going through hard days now, if I can look at, okay, this is really hard for me, but am I blessing someone else? Is the hardship actually benefiting someone? So then it makes it worth what I'm walking through. And so I wanted to share a few things with you just to give you a few examples. Right before I started my organizing business and right before COVID hit, I was actually taking care of my dad. They found him unconscious. He was in a diabetic coma for 45 days in the hospital, and they didn't think he was going to make it. Well, he did end up making it, but then he was on dialysis. And for 6 months, I was his sole caregiver. I was the one taking him to and from dialysis at 5 a.m. I was still working third shift. I was still taking care of my kids. I don't want to go too deep into the story, but when all of that happened, right before that, my husband had been in the hospital. Like, I mean, it was a horrible time in my life. But through that, I learned to implement some systems because I had to. All of a sudden, I was running 2 households. At home, I was caregiving for my husband, and at my dad's house, I was caregiving for my dad. And then I was also the sole person providing an income and a mom to 2 kids that I was taking care of. And so I was running my household, my dad's household, all of our schedules, all the doctor's appointments, all the things. But when I walked through that, it helped me learn A, how strong I am and how I can get through anything. B, how if I implement systems and if I create schedules, it actually helps take off a lot of the stress, which, like I mentioned, I think in the last video, I was horrible at time management earlier in my life. And so that's one of the things that truly helped me. But it also helps me have compassion for my clients whenever they are going through something hard. When I helped, so I had a friend that I helped her declutter her home when I was first starting my organizing business. And I had just started getting into coaching and learning some coaching techniques. And she told me that it completely changed her mindset. It made her feel lighter, but it also helped her feel excited about life again. And that statement of her feeling excited about life again was so worth going through the moment that I went through with her and the struggle that I went through. At the time, I didn't really have the time. I also wasn't getting paid for it. There's things that we go through that are challenges, but they definitely are for a purpose. And that's the point I'm trying to help you understand is that I see you. I know that you have walked through some hard things, but it's okay because those hard things are leading you to where you need to be. Those hard things have helped you learn and grow and build your character, and they're going to help you help your clients. And so it gives our pain a purpose. And so I want you to know that the challenges you've been through, look at them a little bit differently. Look at them and say, who did I bless during that? Or who did I help out? Or what's a different thought I can think about that situation that can help me to be thankful for the fact that I've walked through it and to know that the seeds I planted then are going to blossom now, that I am working towards a goal that is going to impact others. And I'm going to be able to pull from my own stories and my own challenges when I'm in clients' homes so I can emotionally help them as well, not just physically help them with their stuff. So I know that's been a lot, but my point is that if I can do it, I know you can do it. And I know that if you're watching this episode and if you're listening to this series of The Called and Confident, that you are meant to be watching this video and you were meant to hear everything I just said. It's not just a fluke that you are listening to this. And so I am so proud of you for what you have walked through. I see you. I hear you. I would love to hear more from you. If you would comment, I would be forever grateful, and I will definitely be the one commenting back. If you would like to work together, I have multiple ways that we can work together that I can help you, whether you're just getting started in your business or whether you have been in business for years, but now you're ready to actually be on mission, right? And so all of those links will be in the show notes below. I would love to hear from you. I have my group coaching community that we meet every Tuesday to do a group coaching session and support one another. That is what I'm creating in this life because of the challenges I've walked through. I did a lot of those challenges alone. And then I even built my business alone. And I got to that point where I was like, if I'm wanting others to be able to connect with in a sisterhood of women that can support me and encourage me and that we can help each other and I don't have to walk this road alone, if I can't find it, why don't I just create it? And so that's what I created. That's the POC group coaching community. But if you have any questions, I always do a 30-minute free consultation where it's a video chat with me and you. The link for that will be in the show notes as well. Schedule a video call with me. I'm more than happy to have a chat with you. And then I can help you see where there's a spot for you, whether you're just now getting started in your business, whether you've already been an organizer for a while, or my most recent and exciting thing is the Strengthen Your Business course with a 12-month mastermind. Even if you're watching this and it's a few months into 2025, there's a replay vault in there. You still get the course and you can still come to all of the other mastermind meetings. It's so worth getting involved with other women that are on the same path that you are on and that can support you. And I am so, so, so thankful to you. If you've had any aha moments today, be sure to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss the next step of the called framework, which is leverage your strengths. And then after that, the fifth one is envision your ideal client. And the last one is define your mission. So by the end of this series, you are going to know who your ideal client is and what your mission is. So as you go forward in your business, you know who you're talking to and what you're saying and how you're going to help them.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Pro Organizers Coach podcast. Go to proorganizerscoach.com to find all the ways that we can help you succeed in your business. Remember, you have the power to make a difference in people's lives through decluttering and organization. So keep honing your skills, embracing those challenges, and fostering connections. Girl, you've got this.